Alright, and welcome to Retro Video Game Virus, Rvgv for short. I felt like doing something a bit different. You see, when I was a kid and a young teenager, well, pretty much all through my teenage years, I was a die-hard Japanese anime fan, so I thought we'd take a look at these bad boys, mangas from Manga Entertainment.
What's happening?
Manga Entertainment. I flippin' loved mangas back in the early 90s. Founded in 1991, they were the first ever distributors of all Japanese animation or animes in the UK. They were violent, bloody, gruesome, insane, graphic, trippy, shocking, and some would even leave you thinking, what the fuck? But I was in love with them. And one Saturday night back in 1992, I seen Akira for the very first time on the telly, and it blew me away. I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on though. My wee 9-year-old brain couldn't understand or even grasp it, but I was loving every second of it. The art style, the amazing animation, and the violence and gore. I had never seen anything like it in animation. This was no cartoon. I was so pissed off I didn't tape it. But not long after that, I saw an ad for it and a bunch of other mangas that looked amazing in one of the video games magazines of the time. And it said they were available at HMV, John Menzies, and a bunch of other shops that sold videos and comics. So, I couldn't wait to get my wee flabby arse downtown. And that was that. That was the start of me being a diehard manga fanboy. So every music and video store in my local shopping centre sold mangas. I was never stuffed for choice. John Menzies sold them. Woolworths sold them. Koda sold them. Koda was the best place for mangas. They had the most variety and the biggest selection. Koda was this cool wee independent record and music store that originated in Edinburgh. The owner expanded. He opened up a store in Glasgow then, got an office, and yeah, I spent just as much time in there buying mangas as I did buying video games at like John Menzies and Tandy and Dixon's. So if I wasn't buying video games, I was buying mangas with my pocket money or Christmas money. But Koda went bust. They're no longer a thing. And this shop I'm walking to now is where Koda was. Now you can see it's a tacky Beds and Beyond shitey shop. It just sells nothing but shite. And here we are. This was Koda, one of the best fucking music and video shops about this town. Yep, this wall right here, this is where all the mangas were. The amount of times I dragged my mum in here to buy me a fucking manga, because all the great mangas were either always a fucking 18 or 15. Yeah, this store had it all. Had all the great mangas. Akira, Urotsukidoji, Wicked City, 3x3 Eyes, fucking Fist of the North Star, Ninja Scroll. That over there was where the counter was. That's where I would have fucking got my mum to take the 15 or 18 manga and buy it for me. Now it's just this shitey fucking pishy shop that sells fucking tacky shit. Right, it was a beautiful wee shop. You got all these rare and unique fucking CDs and records in here. And I had a shit hot selection of fucking videos. It's all gone now. it stands to what fucking the rest of the shops in this shite-taking off this Kingdom Centre has become. Right, breaks my heart. Yeah, there was a time where I was fucking up to my eyeballs in manga. Even on a Friday night on Channel 4, they had this slot called the Late Licence, and they showed a manga every Friday at midnight, or was it 1 in the morning? I can't remember, but they would play all these different mangas each week that I didn't even know existed. So between the videos and Channel 4 kept me in the loop with the fucking world of manga, and it was great.
Diverse entertainment courtesy of a new late licence next on 4 with showbiz news, animations, music and a parody of Australian cop shows.
Feel a power in me that's superhuman.
Thousands of guys call Gay Exchange every day. Dial 0891 34 34 34 and make contact with the right men right here, right now.
I was even a fucking member of a manga fan club because they brought out a monthly fucking magazine. So yeah, I signed up to that and got all the latest fucking info and all the new releases and perks, and I even had a fucking manga t-shirt that I would never take off. It was the logo. Fucking, that logo was a ceiling quality. But remember like being 12, 13 year old in first year and try to talk to my pals about manga. None of them could grasp what the fuck it was, and a lot of them wouldn't give it the time of day because it was animated. They didn't believe me when I told them how fucked up and twisted and violent and gory and sick and fucking brutal and gruesome they were. So I can remember showing some of my pals some scenes of the most graphic fucking violent mangas like Fist of the North Star, Urotsukidoji, and they were just like, what the fuck is this? But see, back in the day, I can't remember of hearing of anybody having an interest in manga or even having a fucking knowledge of mangas. I mean, I can remember all through high school, I couldn't remember hearing any of my pals talk about manga or have any knowledge of manga, or I couldn't even remember hearing like one of my pals saying, oh, I've got a cousin or an older brother in one of the years above or one of the years below that are into mangas. But yeah, I felt like I was just on my own. It was surreal. It's like I was part of some wee unique fucking underground club that nobody had a clue about. I mean, I can remember when I used to mention the word manga and some pals would be like, manga, what is that? It's like they thought I was talking about some rare fucking species of cabbage. It's like, they used to look at me like I was a fucking weirdo. Like, what the fuck is manga? It isn't football. It isn't fucking wrestling. So, yeah, it must be fucking weird and shit. But the only other person I can remember that had any knowledge of manga or even had mangas it wasn't one of my mates, but it was like one of my brother's pals' oldest brother. So as soon as he told me that he was into them, I couldn't wait to meet him, and he fucking put a word in for me. So next time he saw me, he said I was to go to his house because he just lived in the street behind me, and said if I ever wanted to swap with him, I was to just bring a bunch of mangas to his door, and he'd pick the ones he's not got, and he'd bring a bunch down the stairs, and he'd show me so I could see what ones I've not got. And yeah, we had a great thing going. Yeah, so yeah, that was it. Great times. But fuck it, let's get on with this. This wee selection of videos I've got here, these are the ones that I want to talk to you about and show you. In my opinion, these are probably some of the quintessential fucking mangas. There's a few others that I wanted to do and cover because they're worthy of it. They're amazing, but I've decided to not, because I felt that if I was to, then this video would last fucking forever. So I carefully picked these ones, and a lot of the diehard manga fans would agree with me that these are some of the best in the fucking genre. So yeah, I think we'll start with the granddaddy of all anime, fucking Akira. If it wasn't for this film, then anime wouldn't be what it is in the Western world today, and that's fact. Because when this come out in Japan, I can't remember if he was an American fucking producer or a UK producer, but he's seen this in Japan and brought it back over and showed it at a bunch of like very sort of underground artsy fartsy art house fucking theatres, and yeah, this had everybody talking. This blew people off their seats, fucking, and that was it. Because I don't even know how to fucking start explaining this film. It's mental. It's like, I've seen it a zillion times, I could tell you every word to it, but I wouldn't even know where to begin, how to fucking, like, simplify it. Storyline, I mean, there's loads going on in this. There's like, all these fucking parallel storylines and branching off storylines, and it all intertwines, and as I said, when I watched this for the first time, I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on, but I was just mesmerised by its whole presentation, like a bunch of fucking, like a magpie hypnotised by something shiny getting dangled in front of him. I think the best I can do is after World War III, Tokyo gets fucking destroyed and it gets rebuilt, becomes Neo Tokyo, but the whole place is a mess. There's like fucking violent protests, civil wars, there's like corrupt politicians all each other's throat to get power of the city or power of whatever shit that politicians all fucking squabble over, and on top of that there's this fucking military project where there's a bunch of kids with psychic powers, and they were in this secret government project called the Akira project, which this little boy Akira had these powers that caused World War III and blew up the city, fucking. And amongst all that, there's a biker gang who's the main character, the leader of the biker gang is the main character called Kaneda. His mate has a run-in with one of the psychic kids, and he becomes fucking a psychic and can use fucking psychic powers, and he can't handle all the power, and he ends up fucking just turning insane, and Kaneda and the army are now trying to fucking like take him down, and even the ending, I still don't know what fucking goes on there. I mean, a lot of people say films like fucking Inception and The Matrix are the ones that are like so mind-bending and cerebral, and if you don't understand it then you're not intelligent enough. Like, fuck off, fucking try and watch Akira, and fucking if you can simplify what the fuck is going on to me, be my guest. But yeah, Akira, fucking, if you're not into, if you want to get into anime and you want to fucking get off on the right foot, I suggest you just watch that. That is the ultimate fucking manga in my opinion. And I read years ago that they've been trying to make that into a live action movie as far back as like 2003. I read it in one of what magazine was it? It was like Empire magazine, that I read a wee write-up saying that it was in the works and it would cost like fucking over 300 million to do it justice, and that was in 2003 money. But then later on I heard that they weren't going ahead with it because no studio was what to fucking put that amount of crazy money up and risk it being a bomb, which it would, because it'll be shite. It'll be badly translated into an Americanized Hollywood fucking pile of garbage. But yeah, I'm fine. Fuck that never happened, because it would just shit all over that. It would ruin its legacy. It'd be forever associated with that shite. But
is that you? My body won't listen. The power! Tetsuo! Kaneda! Escape!
Next up, we'll take a look at this fucking nasty piece of work. Urotsukidoji, The Legend of the Overfiend. Can't where to even begin with this one. I mean, this is the most fucked up, twisted, brutal, gruesome, no holds barred fucking manga that's ever been made, and it's the most fucking, all that I just said, manga that I own. Fucking, it truly does live up to its reputation. I mean, this is the one that started the whole fucking hentai, tentacle rape fucking anime. Whoever come up with this is a seriously sick, twisted fucking puppy. But I can remember the very first time I saw this. I mean, my jaw hit the fucking floor. I was fucking shocked. I'd never seen anything like that, or I hadn't even expected to see what I'd fucking seen. I mean, the only mangas I'd ever seen at this point was just like gruesome violence, but this way it's fucking brutal, hardcore, sadistic fucking rapes. It's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I must have only been about, I think I was 12 when I first saw this. Can't remember the fucking, I haven't seen this in years, so I'm a bit rusty with the storyline, but what I remember is there's 3 coexisting worlds: the human world, the man-beast world, and the world of the demons. And apparently it's prophesied that every 4,000 years a super god, the god of all gods called the Chojin, he's going to be reborn on Earth through the body of a man, and he's destined to destroy the 3 worlds and create a new one, uniting them onto a land of peace and harmony. So all the demons are trying to hunt him down because they don't want that. They don't want their world destroyed. But the main guy, called Amano Jaku, or Jaku, or Juku, whatever his fucking name is, he's on a mission to find him on Earth and protect him, because he wants his prophecy to come true, because he wants to be part of this new world for peace and harmony. But as events unfold, all these red flags start going off that this god of all god might not be what he seems to be. I mean, he starts learning that the prophecy might be fucking misinterpreted, and he's just a god of destruction that's just out to destroy the world. He's just another big badass fucking demon. So he's torn between what he's meant to be doing. But yeah, that's one of the things that upset me about this. I mean, it's got an amazing fucking storyline, but it can't get shown to mass audiences. I mean, as I said, no way in hell fucking could Hollywood make a live action version of this. Nah, no way. But funny story about when I bought this. It was like, as I said, like my mum used to always get me my mangas, because a lot of them were 18s and 15s, but it was my gran that bought me this one. And I was down the shopping centre with her, and I had money, and she was there with me, and so I wanted to buy a manga, and I saw this, and I just stood back a bit while she fucking went to the counter and bought this for me. It's like, no way in Christ, in her wildest imagination, she would never have fucking had a clue about what she was buying. Christ, she must have just thought it was a silly cartoon. But fucking, see when she got pissed off, oh yeah, cunt, she was scary. She looked like Edward the Longshanks from fucking Braveheart. a funny as fuck story I could tell you about my gran that happened, and it's stuck with me to this day, and whenever I think about it, it makes me laugh, right? One Saturday afternoon when I was visiting my gran, me and my brother were out in the back garden toy fighting. I mean, I must have only been about 8 or 9. He's a couple of years older than me, but I our toy fighting got heated, and my brother started getting heavy-handed with me, and I must have hit him back, he hit me back, I hit him harder, and my brother just started kicking fuck at me. So I was like squealing on the ground, fucking shouting for my gran to come help. And my brother had his back to the kitchen door, and so I'm facing past him, and I can see my gran fucking march out with a broom shaft. So I'm sitting there, I'm lying there all smug, just waiting for it. And my gran just fucking, my brother didn't see it coming, and my gran just whacked my brother with a broom shaft, and he squealed like a fucking seagull. And he got on his hands and knees, and he started crawling and squealing like a little pig. And my gran had this picnic table at the very back of the garden, and he crawled under it, and he just seen my gran with the broom shaft fucking poking it under the fucking picnic table. And my brother's squealing, and I'm standing there all smug, well, a look on my face as if to say, haha, no joy, serves you right. But as my gran come walking back to the house, she walked by me, and she fucking slaps me right across the face. And I was like, what was that for? And then she goes, that's for squealing like a little fucking lassie. As I said, she could go from being nice, sweet, to just fucking turning into the Terminator. But anyway, this is an essential manga. If you get the chance and you want to get into manga, get this as well. It's up there with Akira, but be warned.
Who are you?
Ha! You must not be much if you don't even know who I am.
So, you must be Amino Jaku, the half-man, half-beast of the Jujinkai.
No big deal. Counter-Strike.
Next, we'll take a look at this wicked city.
I'm afraid you woke up to the truth a little too late. I have no more use for you, lover boy. I hope you had a fun time. That was a close one, wasn't it? But that's all right. I have what I came for anyway.
Yep. It's made by the same director that done Ninja Scroll and Cyber City and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Yeah. So we'll get to those ones soon. But yeah, this, as I said, this is a very good manga. It's up there with the essentials. It's basically like a sexy thriller, very noir, but it's nowhere near as fucked up as Urotsukidoji, but as I said, you wouldn't want to watch this with your mum and dad. It's nowhere near as rapey, but there is some like strong bits in it. But yeah, this is one of those mangas that you can tell by the art style that who's made it, because this Ninja Scroll and Cyber City and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, they all look the same style, same fucking aesthetic, yeah, and it's great. They look truly unique. But what's the fucking storyline in this one again? If my memory serves me, it's, Christ, is it similar to Urotsukidoji? It's not really, but it's basically, again, the world has two coexisting worlds, the human world and the demon world, and they're at war with each other. And the main guy is he called Taki? Is it Takoyaki? But yeah, he works for this organisation that's to protect the Earth against the demon realm, because there's a bunch of like fucking demon radicals that are constantly like fucking, well, basically like demon terrorists that are like constantly causing shit in the human world. So he works for this organisation that's responsible to fucking to deal with them. It's almost like the Men in Black, but yeah, he gets partnered up with this female demon from the demon world, and the two of them have got to be bodyguard for this ancient old man whose job it is to like sign this peace treaty every 1,000 years, and yeah, they two have got to protect them from the demon terrorists from trying to assassinate them, because they don't want this peace treaty signed. Fuck knows, but as events unfold, you find out that there's more to it, and the main character, Taki, and the female demon bodyguard called Maki, they play an essential part in this new upcoming peace treaty that's due to take place. So I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'd advise you to, yeah, get this watched if you want to get into manga.
My God.
Go ahead and shoot me, because he'll die as well. Want that?
Kill him. Human beings are barely worth the effort.
And next, whoo, take a look at this, Ninja Scroll. Yeah, this truly is one of the greatest mangas ever made. I mean, it's not just one of the greatest mangas ever made. I mean, it's like one of the greatest ever like samurai themed films ever made, and that's fact. I mean, a lot of the diehard fans will agree with me. I mean, it's up there with the Seven Samurai and that film series. What was it called? Lone Wolf and Cub. You know, the Baby Cart series, Shogun Assassins, all them. But yeah, this has got it all. Amazing sword fights. Unique original characters, an amazing storyline. Yeah, it's all in here. Christ, what's the storyline in this again? Right, I haven't done a refreshers course on any of these mangas before I started doing this, so like, I used to watch all these to death when I was younger, so I wanted to test myself to see if my memory's still fucking fresh with them all and know what they're all about. So I'd be very disappointed if I wasn't, because I watched these a fucking billion times, so they should be ingrained in my memory bank. So, for what I remember, this one, it's set in 17th century feudal Japan. There's this gang known as the Eight Devils of Kimon, and they're plotting to overthrow the Japanese government so they can take over and rule the land. But the main character called Jubei, he's just like wandering fucking skillful master swordsman. He gets roped into he gets blackmailed into helping this wee Japanese government agent who's on a mission to overthrow the Eight Devils of Kimon and ruin their plans. So yeah, he blackmails him into helping him, so he gets roped into it. And yeah, I'm finding it hard to talk about these and not give away too much fucking like spoilers or tell too much about the storyline. Christ, the storyline's almost like a video game where it's got 8 stages, and at the end of each stage has a unique fucking different boss with a different power or fucking skill. Like one guy, he comes across and kills, can turn himself into, can turn his whole body into rock like the Thing from Fantastic Four. One guy can fucking like create electricity. One guy is a living fucking giant beehive or wasp hive, whatever, that lives in his back. One guy can fucking like, if you cut one of his limbs off, you can stick it back on. So yeah, this is another one of those films that Hollywood's been trying to like make into a live action movie. I mean, I heard a few years ago it was in the works, but I've not heard any more about it, so I actually haven't read up if it's still in the works. But again, if it did, it would just shit all over us. It just would never capture the fucking beauty of this. Like, what I mean is, it won't translate well onto film, especially if it's done by a Hollywood studio. And next we'll take a look at this cool wee manga, Devilman.
Do you know that holding on to that rabbit is very bad for your health?
Look, I can't let you have him.
Yes, you fucking can! Give me that bunny rabbit.
Hey, I'm warning you, kid. You'd better do what he says. This guy's a real psycho once he gets pissed off with you. Fuck you.
Huh? Don't be an idiot. The kid's not worth it. Hey, kid. You're a stupid little fucker. But I'll admit, one thing you got is plenty of guts.
Hey, this is another cool wee unique manga. It's horror fueled and full of gore and it's gruesome as fuck. Yep. Because what's the storyline in this? Basically, it's about this wee high school student called Akira. He's a wee shy and awkward gimpy nerd that gets bullied and picked on, but he ends up becoming Devilman. Like, he gets thrown into this world that's way over his head, and like, just one minute he's a wee fucking high school student, next minute he's got the weight on his shoulders to battle the fucking forces of evil from fucking the pits of hell. Yeah, you know, like, a lot of manga is all about, like, especially Japanese anime, when it comes to horror, is all, usually it's all inspired by like Japanese superstition and folklore, but yeah, all the demons and themes in this are right out of like the Bible, Christian beliefs, you know, like Christian hell. I mean, even Satan himself is the big main sort of baddie that's at the centre of all the shit that's going on in this. I think for some reason, well, I don't know if I'm not the only one, but I always felt this is very similar to Spider-Man. Sorry, the creator Go Nagi, I get the impression that he was inspired by a lot of early Marvel stuff, specifically Spider-Man. But I've always felt this just mirrors Spider-Man, with the wee dorky high school student gets these incredible powers and uses it to fight the forces of evil. But I don't know if that's just me, but yeah, the storyline in this is that wee high school student Akira, his best mate's named Ryu. His dad was an archaeologist, I think, and he discovered an ancient demon skeleton, but because he was exposed to the skeleton, he goes doolally and murders his family, I think, and burns down his house. So Ryu, with the knowledge, and convinces his mate Akira that there's going to be a fucking, like, all the demon attacks in the world are rising all over the world, and he convinces him that we need to, like, do this satanic ceremony to become demons ourselves so we can fight them. And the pair of them go to this black, what's it called? A Black Sabbath? Some satanic ritual in the guise of a fucking nightclub.
There's only one other fucking thing needed for the Sabbath, and that's plenty of blood.
Yeah, the shit hits the fan, and Akira gets possessed by a demon and becomes Devil Man. It's fucking brilliant.
Come on, what are you doing?
He's gone mad.
I'm no longer Ammon. He's eating shit in hell right now. You can call me Devil Man!
Hammon's been taken over by the human's consciousness!
Next, we'll take a look at 3x3 Eyes.
Imbecile! You know nothing of the spirit world!
What's that supposed to mean?
My soul is embedded in her body, joined for all time!
Natsuko!
Decide quickly. If you wish to rescue this pitiful girl, you must make me immortal!
The day that I finally managed to go and buy Akira from that Koda music store, when I was in there and looking at all the mangas I had to offer, this one stood out to me the most. I mean, after I bought Akira, I made it my life's mission to get this one next. There was like nearly all the mangas there that you can imagine, all the classics, but this one stood out to me. This was the one that I wanted to get next so bad, so the next time I came into money, I made it my mission to get that. And I remember my mum, she wouldn't let me get the both. She said I was chancing my luck because she'd already given me like a couple of quid to make up to so I could afford to buy Akira. I mean, I'm sure the mangas back then were like $13.99 maybe, but yeah, I never even had enough for Akira, so my mum had to like give me some coins, and she said, right, that's your fucking, you better do the dishes for the rest of the week. But yeah, when I finally managed to get enough money and straight down to Koda and bought this, and it didn't disappoint. This is another brilliant wee classic manga that it's an essential. What's the storyline again? Yeah, the wee main guy called, what's his name? Yakumo Fuji. His dad's an archaeologist, and he's like doing some archaeological work in Tibet, but he meets this race of ancient immortal people high up in the Himalayan mountains, and his dad dies, so this wee young woman who's part of that ancient race called Pai, his dad tells her to go to the city and find Yakumo and tell him what happened to his dad, and to look out for her. But something happens, I remember. Her own wee pet bird that she keeps in her fucking walking stick gets out and does a big massive rampage in the city, and it ends up killing Yakumo. It crushes him in its talons, and he ends up dead. And that all happens within like the first 20 minutes. So she's got the power of resurrection, so she brings him back to life, but now he's like immortal and can't die, and pretty much his soul belongs to her. So the two of them go on this quest to find this ancient statue that has the power to turn her into a human. So they make a deal that if he assists her, then she'll lift the curse and give his soul back and restore him back to a mortal human. But yeah, it's great. Fucking, it's full of gore, fucking violence. I mean, the artwork and style on this is very much like fucking Pokemon. So just try and imagine a violent, horror-fueled, fucking over-the-top gore Pokemon episode.
Listen here! I'll show you how to find immortality! Exchange Natsuko for me! My body cannot die!
Yes! You have shown me the way!
Yakumo, no! Next, we'll take a look at this Fist of the North Star.
That's the one! Get him!
This one is a seriously epic manga. I mean, it's very heavily inspired by the Mad Max films. I mean, this is Mad Max but fucking on steroids. I mean, if you think that all the other mangas I've showed you were gory and fucking over the top as fuck, nah, wait till you see this. This is the most fucking violent and goriest manga that I've got, and probably one of the most violent and goriest mangas ever made. I mean, I can't think anything else that will beat this. As I said before, I'm trying my hardest not to give too much away, because I don't want to spoil it for you if you ever do intend on watching any of these. So all I can say is just give this one a fucking watch when you ever get the chance, and you won't be disappointed. I mean, this is proper a high octane adrenaline fueled white knuckle thrill ride. Yep, brilliant. This got remade into a Hollywood film. Well, it wasn't Hollywood, I don't know who done it, but at some point in the late 90s. And it was embarrassing. It just couldn't capture this world that this manga anime had created. It doesn't even hold a fucking flame yet. I mean, who's all in that? I think the main character that plays Kenshiro's called Gary Daniels. He was a British kickboxing champion. He done some films. He was played a lot of baddies and some Jackie Chan films. He was in one of the Expendable films, but yeah, I think he made any. He wasn't an A-lister. Never made. He didn't break Hollywood. There's a couple of A-lister actors in the film. What's his Malcolm McDowell and Chris Penn, or is it Sean Penn? What one was the fat one? The one that died. Aye, he's in it. But I think we just needed the money, because no way if they'd actually knew what it was going to turn out like, they wouldn't have fucking done it. But yeah, as I said, give this one a watch, you won't be disappointed.
Turn my body to steel. Do they really think they can hurt me with those dirty little swords of theirs? Attack!
Next, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. See that piece of shit that come out in 1995 starring Jean-Claude Van Damme? That should never have fucking happened. It shouldn't even exist. This is the film that we should have got at the cinemas. This is the proper, true Street Fighter 2 fucking movie. I mean, I don't know why it didn't get a cinematic release. That's what I'm saying before. Just because something's animated, it's like, it doesn't get enough fucking respect. I mean, Disney films are like hot shit and got cinematic releases and we're all seen as major motion pictures, so I don't see why a lot of these mangas and animes don't get the same treatment. I mean, this is a billion times better than that piece of shit that come out saying Jean-Claude Van fucking coke addict damn with that fucking pop singer playing Cammy. What's her name? Kylie Minogue. But yeah, fucking this is how the Street Fighter film should be. It's about Ryu, not fucking Guile, going around the world fucking picking fights with the most fucking hardest fighters he can come across so he can become fucking king of the Street Fighter. So yeah, the storyline in this is, it picks up right up after the events of Street Fighter 1 where he's defeated Sagat, and it shows you him getting the scar. He does this peachy dragon punch and his chest explodes, fucking blood goes everywhere. And then after that, it's like Ryu's just wandering the fucking world. But in Bison, he's going around trying to kidnap all the greatest Street Fighters himself, because he's trying to build his Shadow Lu or Shadow Law army. So he's gunning for Ryu because he says any man that's strong enough to kick the crap out of Sagat is a man he wants fucking found. And yeah, it's like, it's great. Amazing animation, amazing fight scenes. All the characters are represented how they should be. All their personalities are how you would imagine they would be. Yeah, it's fucking great. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Just fucking give this essential classic manga a fucking watch if you ever get the chance. I mean, everybody that was involved in that fucking piece of shit with Jean-Claude Van Damme should be fucking executed and suffer a horrible, painful, excruciating death. And a lot of the fans would agree with me. So, get this watched.
Oh God, Vega!
Next, Cyber City.
I'm marching.
Right, I've got a very severe emotional soft spot for this manga because it was like the very first manga I'd ever seen on that Channel 4 late licensed slot, and it was the very first ever manga shown on that Channel 4 late licensed slot. So yeah, I've got a very severe emotional soft spot for this one. And I remember the very first time I sat down to watch it, and when that awesome intro fucking music kicked in, oh, it got me pumped. Yeah, this manga is well renowned for its soundtrack because it's like probably some of the best music in the manga genre, and a lot of the die-hard fans will agree with me. But yeah, I fucking loved every minute of this one. It's a three-parter, and each story focuses on one of these three main characters, and they're all unique and got their own cool wee fucking personalities. And the story is, they're on death row, and the state offers them a deal that if he's worked for this special service section of the police, in every fucking high-risk criminal you apprehend, you get a bit knocked off your sentence, and so you have a chance of freedom. So they take the deal thinking it's better than just sitting a bit on death row, fucking wait until the day they get executed. But the catch is they've got to wear these collars, so if they ever disobey an order or try and do a runner, the chief of police will just press his button and blow their heads off. But yeah, the reason this special section of the police force was created is because like the criminals the criminals the police are trying to like round up and apprehend are like too high risk, so they figured let's just send guys that are on fucking death row anyway, and they're going to die anyway, so let's just use them as fodder. But yeah, they always seem to make it through their insane fucking high risk missions that no ordinary police officer wants to touch. But yeah, like the very first episode focuses on the main guy called Sengaku or Sengoku, whatever his name is, and he's been given the task of infiltrating Cyber City's highest and most advanced skyscraper. The onboard computer's been hacked and overtaken by terrorists, and they've got these crazy demands that if the terrorists don't get what they're wanting, then they're gonna like stop this stabilizer that keeps it, because the building's so tall, it's on these stabilizers that keep it upright, so he's threatening to shut that down so the tower will just collapse like the fucking like the Twin Towers. So yeah, he's got the task of finding out what's going on, who's behind it, and freeing all the hostages. But oh, it's great. I mean, as events unfold, there's all these fucking plot twists and what the fuck moments. I mean, it's great. Yeah, so there I go again. It's like I'm trying my hardest not to spoil what goes on in this manga, because I'd rather you watch it for yourself. But fucking, it's pure sci-fi action awesomeness. I mean, it's highly inspired by all the 1980s fucking action movies. I mean, it's got a bit of fucking like Terminator and Robocop in it, Predator, Running Man, fucking Blade Runner. So yeah, I'd advise you to give this a watch whenever you get the chance.
Alright, shithead, let's finish it.
Come out, little pig.
Hey, shithead, Sionji.
And next, Battle Angel Alita.
Huh? That's amazing. You're still alive. How could you survive waste disposal?
Yeah, this is a cracker of a manga. I mean, it's fucking sci-fi fucking heaven. I mean, it's set in this wee Blade Runner inspired world and city. I mean, Christ, you can't... It's not as if it's inspired at all. It's like the makers just thought, fuck it, let's just make it the city that Blade Runner set in. Well, that's how I feel anyway. I mean, everything to the look, the feel, the style of the buildings, the architecture, it's all Blade Runner. If you can remember what the city in Blade Runner looks like, it's identical. But it works. No gripes about that. It's fucking, it looks amazing. But yeah, this got remade into a live action film back in 2019 by James Cameron. Yeah, I'm sure he produced it, but it was him he was steering the ship. I'm sure it was like one of his wee pet projects. The funny thing is, he called it Alita Battle Angel. The anime's called Battle Angel Alita. Apparently so, he wanted to call it Alita because it starts with the letter A, because James Cameron's got a theme going that all his films that he's personally written and directed all begin with the fucking letter A or T. I'm no joking, look it up. But yeah, so like, I remember when I heard that it was getting made into a live action movie, I was like, oh, it'll be pish. They'll fuck with it and they'll just change shit and it'll just be garbage because anime hasn't got a good record being translated to Hollywood films or any live action films. When I watched it, I was like, fucking hell, that was amazing. It fucking blew me off my seat. That was brilliant. I fucking loved every minute of it. I mean, it was a scene-by-scene fucking remake. You could have a split scene. The key scenes from this and the live action and they're identical, and that's what I loved. They followed the true fucking story of the manga comic that it was based on and turned into this and then that. But there was a wee slight changes. For example, we shoehorned in the rollerball fucking element, which wasn't in this, but I think they must have chopped that out because they wanted to, like, the running time would have been too long. But yes, apart from that, everything's fucking on point. I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know what the storyline in this because it's identical. The doctor guy, Ito, he finds Alita on a scrap heap, all badly damaged. He reprograms her when she's on a quest to try and discover her past and who she is, what she was, and on the way she meets friends and ends up becoming a bounty hunter, and yeah, it's great.
Leave her alone! Who the hell says so? Who are you? I am a hunter warrior. A dead one? Huh? You aren't as good looking as the girls I usually kill, but I expect your brains will taste the same as theirs do. Nice try, but it ain't as easy as that. Huh?
Let go of Ito! You can't hurt him!
Alita! Alita, run! Quickly!
And finally we have Venus Wars. Yeah, this is the most tamest fucking manga out of the bunch. It's only a PG, but I'm still surprised it's a PG. I mean, it's worthy of a 15. I can remember way back in the early days of manga VHS advertisements, this had a 15 certificate, so I don't know why we lowered it to a PG, but yeah, I'm very surprised. It's probably on par with Akira, but not quite, but there's loads of swearing in this. Every swear word you can imagine, but it's just not got the word fuck or cunt. But yeah, it's pure manga fucking awesomeness. What's the storyline again? Yeah, Venus has been... Apparently a planet collided with Venus and it made the air breathable and fit for human life. So loads of people moved to Venus. It became a habitable planet that thrived. But there's a civil war breaks out, pretty much like every other civil war. Like either some northern part of the country taking over and the southern part of the country fight back, or vice versa. And yeah, there's this wee motorbike gang in this that take it upon themselves to try and fight back at the forces that are trying to overtake the planet and rule it with a dictatorship. So yeah, the main guy, his name's Hero. He fucking becomes this wee hotshot fucking rebel fighter, and he ends up getting drafted into the army on the good guy side. And yeah, that's about it. But yeah, as I said, give it a bash. It's a very good manga. Don't let it being a PG put you off thinking it'll be dull. But yeah, this is one that's fit for the whole family, even young kids. It's brilliant. I loved it. Doesn't make me think it any less just because it's a PG. It's pure fucking manga action and manga fucking awesomeness. So yeah, give it a watch.
Hero? It must be Hero!
It must be.
That dumb kid.
Wrong!
Are you getting this?
What?
Shoot it.
But...
Go ahead. Make it a tribute to him.
So that was my look at manga videos. Yeah, fucking love manga to pieces. I'm so out of touch with it these days. I couldn't tell you anything about modern anime or manga. I mean, I don't even think fucking manga still exists. I think they went out of business, or have it just changed their name? I'm not sure if it's called Funimation or Funimation or some shit like that, but that sounds crap. I mean, manga sounded awesome. Fucking, but I do remember maybe about probably 10 years ago, I was in HMV one day and I was just had a nose at the anime section, and like there was loads of it that I just didn't hear of. Like I didn't, half of it I can't even like begin to tell you what they're about. I mean, I seen Naruto, so I was there under the manga label, and I remember thinking, like, wasn't that on Nickelodeon? Wasn't that a Nickelodeon show? Yeah, but there it was, Naruto, with the wee manga logo on the side of the DVD case. What else? I ended up watching Hellsing, and I fucking loved it. Hellsing was amazing. It was like, that come out way back in, I'm sure it was like 2010, maybe 2011, but yeah, it was like proper like on form with the manga that I loved from back in the early 90s and late 80s. So yeah, I thought that was me back on track. I was going to get back into it, and then I watched Berserk, and that was even better. It was fucking brilliant too. It was epic, but after that I tried bits of this, bits of that, and just couldn't fucking just had nothing in common with it, didn't relate to it. I just couldn't, nah, it wasn't the same. The other issue is I find with modern anime is I don't like this CGI digital look. I mean, it looks too clean, too much of a sheen. I mean, the anime that I grew up with and watched, it was proper old school anime. Like, it was all hand painted and it was all done by the old school animation cells, and I gave it this gritty look to it and feel, and it just oozed old school anime. I mean, the modern stuff's just, I don't know. I just can't describe it. It's like I just can't put my finger on it. It just looks too clean. I've even seen or read that a lot of modern anime, the characters are all CGI'd. They're like 3D renders. So they're just pretty much like what they do on fucking Toy Story and shit like that, like fucking Pixar. Like, that's no the essence of fucking anime. That's pish. But fuck it. As I said, these mangas I showed you, these are like old school classic fucking mangas. You'll not get any mangas like this these days. I mean, it's actually breaking my heart that I can't show you a lot more. I mean, there's lots of classic fucking great mangas that I've overlooked, but I just felt I can't go over them all because this video would be fucking far too long. I feel this video's too long as it is now, but yeah, but yeah, give these a watch. But I actually need to get off my arse and do some hoovering. Is that you, Henry?